Hello, I'm Katie Harrison and this is Stepmum Space, the judgment-free zone where we'll talk candidly about the fairy tales and scary tales of stepmum life. So whether you've been a stepmum for years, you're just starting out, or you want to understand the stepmum in your life a little bit better, this is the place for you. My guest today is Alice. Alice is a stepmum to an 11-year-old girl. Before meeting her partner 7 years ago, Alice was adamant that she would not date a man with kids. But, as we all know, you can't plan life that carefully. And since becoming a stepmum, Alice has certainly had some ups and downs and some reminders of why she felt that way in the past. There's a lot in this chat which I know many of you will identify with, from tricky exes to kids who don't tell the truth for fear of upsetting their parents to feeling undervalued as a stepmum. So let's get into the show. Hello, Alice. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
How's your week going?
Yeah, really well, thank you. How's yours?
Do you know what? It's been really good, but I just feel like my feet haven't kind of touched the floor. I feel like I haven't come up for air at all.
I know the feeling.
Alice, you got in touch with me after hearing the podcast, which was amazing. Could you tell us a little bit about your family?
Yeah, well, I met my partner nearly 7 years ago now, and he has a daughter who's now 11.
So you came into her life when she was...
just turned 5.
And how was it?
Yeah, it definitely had its highs and lows, but me and my stepdaughter have forged this amazing relationship.
That's amazing. And has it always been like that?
Yeah, from the get-go, actually, yeah, we've always had a really close relationship.
I guess, you know, this isn't going to be the shortest episode in the history of podcasts. There's probably some more to unpick in it, I'm sure. So how did you meet your partner?
I was friends with my partner for a while before he got divorced. There was this undeniable connection between us. We just couldn't shake. So when they separated, we did get together quite quickly. I knew that he had a daughter who had not long turned 5, but also respected, you know, her parents separating was going to be difficult. So we wanted to wait until the following year to meet her.
And how was it for her after her parents split up?
So, yeah, she took it really well at the time. I do think, yeah, there's been some longer term effects perhaps.
Okay, so we'll get into that, I'm sure, as we go through your story. So how did you feel initially about your partner having a daughter?
It's kind of funny looking back at that now. Before I met him, I was totally adamant I wouldn't ever be with a guy who already had children, but I guess you can't always choose who you fall in love with.
Yeah, this is true. What made you so adamant about that?
It was sort of just something, I'd always imagined having children myself with them first. I'd sort of been against being with anyone, that had previously been married. And also the age gap wasn't something I'd really considered before either. He's 9 years older than me. Yeah,
it's funny how things work out. When you first met his daughter, you mentioned the parents had kind of split up about a year ago. How did it go?
I was introduced as Dad's friend, and, you know, we wouldn't hold hands or anything in front of her. But it wasn't long, you know, before her mum started asking questions. And that's sort of when the negative comments started coming in thick and fast. It was solely aimed at me, you know, that I was rubbish at plaiting her hair or that I'd taught her to tie her shoelaces wrong.
Oh, God. And negative comments coming from the daughter or the mum?
Just the mum.
How did those negative comments come to your ears?
It was always via text message to my partner.
The dreaded text review that everybody talks about.
That's it.
How did he handle that?
I mean, he's always had my back, and he's, you know, defended me when his ex made comments like that. But it definitely affected my confidence. And even, you know, nearly 7 years on, I don't think that the mum can respect my role as stepmom or even accept that I play a role in my stepdaughter's life. When we got together, I had this picture of us, you know, co-parenting and going to parents' evening together. I was having a real input in this little person's life, but the reality is that I don't get a say at all. And my stepdaughter's mum has to, you know, dictate the rules for us, and we just have to obey. And that's hard.
Yeah. And that's hard then to have sort of somebody else with so much control over your life.
Absolutely. It was really difficult and still is.
And how has that affected your relationship with your partner?
It's been difficult. We've had our highs and lows as a relationship, but ultimately I do think it has made us stronger.
Yeah, I think him having your back is such an important thing because, I hear a lot of stories about guys who are perhaps afraid of standing up to the ex for understandable reasons, but it doesn't help anybody long term.
Absolutely. We had a lot of that. I mean, there's been a lot of times when I've wanted to, push him further and be like, stand up for yourself. But it's difficult when she has the control over access and, it only takes one argument and she'll remove that.
Really?
Yeah. It's been really difficult with access and, they have a blow up and then suddenly she's not coming round for the weekend.
And is that because the mum sort of directly says, right, well, you're not seeing her, as in kind of, this object is mum's to control? Or is it that the daughter senses stuff's going on and decides that she doesn't want to come?
No, it's the mum saying she won't be coming to you.
I know it happens, but I just don't get it. I really don't.
It's been really, really tough. Their daily phone calls will be removed if my stepdaughter acts badly or has a bit of a tantrum or anything. She can get a bit stroppy, but that will be removed then. She won't be allowed to call her dad.
God. And it's hard for her then because she's suddenly trapped in the middle of this very grown-up situation. And I guess for the last 7 years of her life.
Yeah, she's very aware that there's a lot going on between her parents and she might not understand, the full story right now. But yeah, she certainly has a good idea.
It's interesting that hasn't affected your relationship with her.
No, not so much. We've always, had a really strong relationship. When there's been situations where, my stepdaughter's made comments and it's made me want to pull back, things like last year, she told her mum that she hates me. Mum had been going round to my partner's family and telling them that, and it came full circle. And it was something my stepdaughter had said just to her mum and said she truly regrets it. It's not the way that she feels, but it's what her mum wanted to hear.
It's interesting that she can identify that at age 9.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think that's quite common. And, adult friends of mine who are stepchildren will vocalize really openly that, yeah, they knew what to go home and say to their mum to make them happy. And it wasn't always the truth, but so difficult for then it to come back on you.
Absolutely. We've had a lot of that over the years.
And I guess there's a little girl in the middle of it who feels like she's betraying you if she says things to her mum, but feels like she's betraying her mum if she says, well, actually, I like Alice.
Exactly that.
You mentioned that the ex was talking to your partner's family. Are they still close?
Not close, but they talk.
How's that for you?
Honestly, quite difficult. I guess, they were married for 10 years, so they did have a lot of involvement in each other's families. And I guess that doesn't just go away when you divorce. My partner's got nieces and nephews that he still cares about and will keep in contact with. That's a big part of their lives.
Yeah, and I guess it's your stepdaughter's cousins.
Exactly, yeah.
So how have your sort of in-laws been with you?
And yeah, really, really good, actually. We've got a really positive relationship.
You mentioned earlier that some of the feedback you'd had from your partner's ex had caused some problems for kind of your own confidence and also in your relationship. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it all comes back to loyalty binds. And I guess it all started around 2 years ago after I met my stepdaughter. So when she was around 7, and she'd tell her mum silly lies like that I shout at her all the time and I make her wear horrible clothes, which couldn't be further from the truth. I've never shouted at her and she chooses all of her own clothes. But then her mum arranges a meeting and it'll be just her, my partner and my stepdaughter. And I guess, yeah, that's difficult on me. I'm not able to be part of that conversation. My stepdaughter will end up apologising for lying and cries about it, but it will only be sort of a few months until it all happens again. And that's difficult. It's like treading on eggshells all the time.
And has anybody been able to sort of unpick with your stepdaughter the why, like why she's doing it?
Not really. I mean, she does paint her mum a very different picture to how our relationship really is. And I have considered if that's how she really feels about me, but when it's so far from the truth, it's been, difficult to understand why. It was only earlier this year that I read about loyalty binds and maybe how a stepchild might feel like they're betraying their mum by having fun or even loving their stepmum. And sort of that made it all, perfect sense why she would want to lie to her mum about her relationship with me. And that's sort of, where I've got up to.
But it still hurts, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks.
I think it's that really difficult balance of kind of thinking, okay, I'm an adult. I understand how that child feels. I understand why they're doing what they're doing. But God, it hurts because I'm trying so hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's still so young, I don't think she has any idea of what she's doing. It's non-intentional.
So do you have a relationship with your stepdaughter's mother at all?
I don't really know. I can count on my hand sort of how many times I've seen her face to face.
I don't know about you, but I've often wondered kind of what's going on with the other person. Why would they be like that? Has she got a new partner? Has she moved on from the marriage?
Yeah, I mean, we were together for just under a year before she met someone else and he moved in. And that's when things started changing and communication broke down. It didn't feel like we were co-parenting anymore. It was just high conflict and communication often turned nasty. There were a lot of insults.
Towards you or
yeah, absolutely. And to my partner, just having her for 3 days over the weekend didn't warrant us being parents. That was really hard to hear.
That's interesting because I often hear that when the ex gets a new relationship, things improve. But it seems in your case, it was the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I had hoped it would improve, but no, everything has really gone downhill since then. And that was quite a few years ago now. And I guess we still haven't come out the other side yet.
Is it something to do with her partner? What's the new guy like?
They're good. I mean, he first of all tried to buy her affection, I guess. There are a lot of gifts. They've since had 2 kids together, so maybe that's changed the dynamic.
Okay, so your stepdaughter's got siblings at her mum's house.
That's right, yes. One's 20 months old and the other is 10 months old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mum, yeah, she must be tired, hey?
Absolutely, yeah.
And how often do you see your stepdaughter now?
Well, we were used to seeing her Thursday until Saturday every week, but since she started secondary school last year, we now see her Friday to Sunday every other week.
So she was with you every weekend for 5 odd years?
Yeah, exactly that.
Wow, it must have been a big change to moving to every other weekend.
Yeah, it's not been for the better either, I don't think. It's been difficult.
And how do you think your stepdaughter's found the changes in her life? Because she's gone from, I guess, being the only child in both houses to suddenly having 2 babies really in one house and obviously seeing you guys less than she was. How's she coping?
Not great, honestly. She's been, caught into babysitting a lot for the kids. But when she's here, it's sort of her break time away from all of that. It's her time and she has our full attention. So I feel like, it's a little holiday escape for her. She does love them very much. It's just quite full on for her at 11, I suppose, to be doing so much for 2 children.
My partner and I had 2 babies together, very close together, not quite that close. And I think we were always really conscious to not get the children to look after them. Do you feel confident that what she says about the other house is true, having seen it the other way around?
No, there's been, plenty of lies on both sides. And it has sort of been exposed over the years. And there's been a realization, I suppose, from mum that's been, oh, I see. So she's playing both sides. But then when it happens again, she's quite quick to believe her daughter over us.
And I guess there's probably a lot going on with her mum as well. It can't be easy having a 20-month-old and a 10-month-old.
It's not been easy with her partner either, from the sounds of things. He's been quite poorly, and he doesn't take a sort of upfront approach with parenting the kids. So it really is down to her full time and my stepdaughter when she's back from school.
Oh, that's tough on her. You mentioned earlier that she kind of coped well with her parents splitting up when it happened, but you thought it might have had some longer lasting impacts.
I think, you know, as time's progressed, we've sort of, seen signs like really heightened sense of anxiety, and she's spending quite a bit of time off school. It's been quite difficult to sort of find out answers really as to what is going on. And I don't think she quite knows herself, being 11.
How was it during the kind of COVID time? Was she just still going between the houses as normal?
No, actually, that was really difficult for both myself and my partner. We didn't get to see her for, I think it was just over 3 months. And even after then, she didn't go straight back into routine. We had to wait, you know, another 3 months until she was able to sleep round and things. Her mum was quite controlling during that time. She was pregnant at the time, so there was a lot of worry with COVID and passing that on to her. But also, yeah, I do think it was a controlling aspect because she was still seeing her friends and family. So,
oh, well, in that case, it's a bit illogical.
no, exactly that.
When you were talking about the pregnancy, I was thinking, okay, well, that kind of makes sense. But you can't kind of have one rule for one person and one rule for another, can you?
I mean, yeah, it certainly felt that way.
What's your partner's relationship like with his daughter?
Absolutely amazing. I don't think you can sort of compare it with anything else. They have such a bond and they are so similar. It's definitely daddy's little girl.
How have you found it? Kind of, you talked in the beginning about how you weren't really keen on dating someone with kids, and obviously now you've been doing it for 7 years.
Yeah.
How has it been versus your expectations?
Totally different from my expectations. It has been so rewarding to, you know, take part in someone else's life and been able to guide them as they grow up and now into her teenage years. It's a really crucial time for her. And I'm really glad I'm able to support her in that way. But yeah, it has been far more difficult than I had ever anticipated.
Anything in particular?
I think having zero say, I think it's been a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. I'd love nothing more than to, you know, go to parents' evening and be part of that. But I guess I have to manage that by thinking about having my own children where I will have a say and where I will go to parents' evening rather than, you know, the ex making rules for us.
I mean, I can promise you parents' evening isn't that thrilling.
If you say so.
So do they go together then, or do they sort of take it in turns?
No, they used to go together, but more recently, no, he's not had a part in that at all, which, yeah, has been really difficult on him, actually.
Yeah, and how, I mean, I'm sort of stumbling over my words a bit because I can't really understand why a mother wouldn't want their child's father to take an interest and want to go to parents' evening.
She keeps on saying things like, we're bringing her up just fine. And it's very much like myself and my partner are like second-class citizens.
So it's probably an insecurity on mum's part then, rather than anything else.
I think so, yeah, we can only assume.
That's a shame though, because there are obviously a lot of people who would kill to have an ex-partner who wanted to be involved in their child's life.
Yeah, absolutely. He very much wants to be involved in all of her life, you know, and be able to have a say. It's just over the years, it's got less and less, and he's no longer able to have any say whatsoever.
What happens when he tries?
She'll very quickly shoot him down.
And how much of what's going on do you think the stepdaughter understands?
I'm not entirely sure sort of how much she's told at home, but she definitely has got a good idea about, you know, how dysfunctional their communication is. And she's often the messenger in between them.
Oh, God, that's so difficult for her.
That is hard at 11, yeah.
And you mentioned earlier kind of having your own children in the future. Is that something that you hope is on the cards?
Yeah, absolutely. We've discussed it from the get-go that, you know, that has to be part of our plan. Is something, yeah, I've always wanted to have my own.
So obviously at the moment, you're kind of far from the ideal relationship between your stepdaughter's two homes. Do you think there's any hope of it improving?
I do hope that things can get better over time. I'm holding on to hoping that maybe my stepdaughter's mum can accept me as part of her life. And, you know, it's something we do as stepmoms. It's underappreciated, but hopefully one day she can see the input that I've had.
Have you ever thought about reaching out to her?
Yes and no. I'm not sure how well that would be taken, which is why I haven't yet.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't suggesting it, just for clarity. I was
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
We have similar traits, I suppose. We're both very creative, but apart from that, our personalities are so chalk and cheese. I'm not sure we would see eye to eye.
Really difficult when you're trying to bring up a child together, which, you know, like it or not, that's what's happening.
And obviously my stepdaughters are common interest and we do have to work together.
As hard as it is, and I say this as somebody who knows, as hard as it is having somebody else with your child a lot, you have to be happy that there's somebody who's taking an interest in your child and somebody who your child likes.
I suppose the picture that my stepdaughter paints to our mum is quite far from the reality. And perhaps the mum doesn't actually understand the relationship that we do have.
It's really hard when you feel like things are unjust and you're being unfairly kind of painted or unfairly treated.
Massively. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
I don't know, I always say to friends of mine whose kids have stepmums, you know, as the birth mum, you have to do the work on yourself. You really, really have to. It's never really about the stepmom. I mean, apart from in rare cases, it is always about the birth mum and their, you know, their own insecurities. It's not easy sharing a child. You don't grow a child planning to share it. You have to do the work on yourself because otherwise the only person who loses is the child.
I feel so bad for her, bless her.
So, Alice, tell me before we sort of wrap up, what are your hopes for the future?
I hope that things can sort of level themselves out. You know, things started great and then it went downhill. And I'm hoping sort of over time, over her teenage years, we'll be able to see eye to eye and co-parent like we used to.
I hope so too for you and for your stepdaughter, because it sounds like you've got an amazingly close bond and that's only going to be a good thing in her life. Do keep in touch. Let us know how you're getting on. And it's been
I will do.
So lovely to talk to you.
You too. Thank you for having me.
There are so few people who you can have honest conversations with.
Oh my God. That is nail on head. I'm so glad I'm not the only one.
You're not the only one. And to you who's listening, you are not the only one. Come and connect with other women riding the same stepmother storm on our website, www.stepmumspace.com, where you'll find a forum, ways to meet other stepmums, and much more. And thanks to Alice for sharing her story. I hope there was something in it which resonated with you. As always, if you've got a story you'd like to share, please do get in touch. You can contact me via the website or on Instagram at stepmumspace. And if you've enjoyed the show, please do rate it and spread the word as it helps others find us. See you next time.